Thank you everyone for joining us. We are here with the Austun Reid. I am Daryl Josiah filling in for Joel. And today we're going to jump into how Austun Reid is being an amazing writer and producer, doing big things in LA, Oakwood alum, working on Bel-Air, working with the Jennifer Hudson show.
Yeah.
Tell me about how's that journey been for you, man?
It's honestly been crazy. I look at younger Austun, not even college Austun, like middle school, high school Austun, and like, man, like you're actually doing the things that you only dreamed about. I grew up in a family of doctors and lawyers and, Navy vets and things like that. And so working in entertainment was never seen as a tangible career field, but yet I'm working in that field. And so it's surreal. Every day it's like, wow, like I'm actually doing what I actually love to do,
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was a passion for you while you were here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How were you able to apply your passion for media, marketing, working with the production assistants while you were an Oakwood student?
Ooh, honestly, I feel like it came a little bit later. Like I said, I grew up in a very traditional family in a sense in terms of career fields. And so when I came to college, I was very focused on just getting the degree, getting a job. Yeah. I was a finance major at the time. And so my goal was to just be a financial advisor, get married, live life, live under the radar, whatever. But I feel like there was also, I have such a big personality and entertainment was something that I always wanted to pursue. I just didn't know how to pursue it. And so again, I feel like it was always bound to happen. I was always creating videos on campus. I was always in the media. Wow. I was always, on stage doing whatever. I was, recording videos with my friends, etc. And so again, I knew it was coming. I just didn't know how or when. And so I stumbled across it. And once I found the opportunity, I just held on to it and continued to climb on that in a sense. Yeah.
I love that for you, Austun. I'm glad that you're doing what you love for work instead of just pursuing the sustainable, just fast track.
Absolutely. It's scary, honestly. Yeah. It's scary to follow the dreams that you have for yourself in a sense. Especially in a career field that's not as traditional. Entertainment is but entertainment is not a traditional career field. It's specifically working in television, writing and producing television. And so it was a learning curve for myself because there was not really anybody that I can look up to and be like, hey, I have a question about this, or how do you X, Y, and Z? I had to figure it out. And once I was in the rooms with those people, then I could figure it out, but I had to get into the room first.
Wow. That's very inspirational.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because you're doing it. You're living your own track. Yeah. So when other people want to ask you for advice, you have your own experience. Yeah. So I want to ask, how was it creating Reidiculous Media?
Yeah. My ultimate goal is to have a production company. I have a production company. Reidiculous Media is my production company. But ever since I entered into the entertainment space, and even prior to that, I knew that I wanted to create something bigger. And working in this space now for almost 5 years, I've realized that there was kind of a lack of appreciation for the Black community. Wow. And I say that in terms of majority, that's still the same thing as a lot. I'm just going to say it, whatever. A lot of the times you see television shows or movies, the ones that do well, quote unquote, portray Black individuals as a stereotype in a sense, or it's slavery or, Black struggles and things like that. But Black people are so much more than our struggles. And I feel like we are not always given the opportunity to share our positive stories. And I want to be that person to do so, number one. Okay. Number two, I want to give kind of a platform to Black writers, Black producers, Black actors, actresses to come in, infiltrate that space and do what they want to do as well. I know that for myself on how difficult in a sense it is to get into the entertainment space. And because I already have my foot in the door, I want to allow other people, I want to keep my foot in the door and keep people coming in. And so that's kind of the thought process behind, Reidiculous Media of my own media company and allowing other people in my community to come and infiltrate that space.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you want to give African American, Black people the platform to be their most authentic self.
For sure.
Instead of having to fit into a stereotype.
Absolutely.
I respect that.
Thank you.
How do you live your authentic life? Just to get a little bit more about who you are.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, number one, social media. I feel like a lot of the times people share their best selves in a sense on social media. You hear all the time that social media is fake and all that stuff. Well, yeah, cool. But at the same time, for me, living my most authentic self means I share the good and the bad on social media. Like, I don't just share the good, or even like with the good, I don't curate it to make it look like I'm better than. It's just really talking about what happens in the moment. Like, my car got stolen my first few months out in LA. My car got broken into. The writer strike happened, so I was out of work for like 6 months. And so my social media is a platform to where, I share I got booked on Bel-Air, but I also share my car just got jacked. Or, I just got this brand deal, but I didn't get the job that I wanted to get. So like me living my most authentic self is being honest, not just with me, but being honest with my community and people that follow me as well. Because if you only saw the good things that like transpired out of my story, then you wouldn't think that I had struggles. And I think that it's very important to show the struggles, because the struggles, even though it sucks in the moment, like it's gotten me to where I am today. And I've learned so much, in those moments of struggle, that I can apply to those moments that I'm not struggling.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
From Oakwood to LA, you getting your car jacked. You're always having to pivot from what it seems like.
Absolutely.
What is the pivot to me and individuals watching? Like, how is that going for you? And tell me a little bit more what that is about.
Yeah. So the pivot I actually started with my co-founder, Amir Duke, shout out to him. And he works in entertainment as well. He works on the music side of things, where I work on the television side. He's also an HBCU grad himself.
Oh, okay.
And so him and I, aligned so much in our visions in terms of we wanted to create a space for the Black community, for HBC community, and specifically individuals in entertainment, because it's such an interesting space to be in. And there are many times that we've had to pivot in our careers, and being, 4 or 5 years post-grad, being new in your career field, there are things that you're always learning. There are things that you're always trying to elevate in. And so I feel like we just wanted to create a space where like-minded individuals came together and be like, hey, I'm struggling, you struggling too. Yeah. Let's all struggle together and help each other.
Okay.
Because again, it just goes back to how a lot of the times I feel like people just portray their best selves without like showing the struggle behind it. Yeah. Which is not realistic. Like, even you can on paper be perfect, but everybody has their struggles. Everybody has their dark moments. Yeah. And I feel like it's important to showcase those and realize that you're not alone in those moments, because it helps you feel like, okay, well, I'm struggling. This person's struggling too. Like, maybe we can help each other out.
Yeah. Okay.
And do what we got to do.
The pivot. I like that.
Yeah.
That touches me for sure.
You got to come to the next one. We're doing another one in September in LA, but we're hoping to bring it, to Atlanta, New York, Huntsville, so you got to come through one of them.
Sure. I'd love to. Thanks for the invite, man.
Absolutely.
Like, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What would you want to tell your younger self if, like, going through the struggles, Oakwood University, cat food is bad. You might not have somebody to talk to.
I actually didn't hate the cat food. I didn't hate it. Did I love it? No, but I didn't hate it.
You didn't hate it?
Hate it.
What did you normally eat? I mean, that's just
I don't even remember, to be honest. What did I usually eat?
Because I'm a salad guy.
But I feel like I'm lying though, because I had some equipment in my dorm in Holland. I had a toaster oven. We didn't have air fryers back then. Okay. I had a toaster oven. I had a microwave. Don't tell my RA. So I had a rice cooker.
Oh, bro was living the life.
I was low key like whipping it up in Holland Hall. I'm not gonna lie.
That's crazy.
But I usually went to breakfast. I went to breakfast at the calf. Like breakfast was cool for me.
Super reliable.
Yeah. Or like a Wednesday when we had like pizza, all that stuff like that. So I feel like I chose my day, so maybe it wasn't bad for me because I didn't go every day. But now I'm on a tangent. I forgot the question.
No, you're good. I could bring it back up to the surface. It's really just like while during your Oakwood experience. Like,
yes.
What would you tell yourself going through the motions, or to motivate you? Ooh. What would you now tell him?
Honestly, it sounds cliche, but keep going. And I say that because I always had this mindset of and this sounds cocky, but I always had a mindset of like, I'm going to make it.
Okay.
And so I don't think there was ever a moment like of me, my older self saying like, dang, Austun, like I would tell you this now. Cause I already told myself that, if that makes sense. Like when I was coming up, when I was going through it, I was telling myself like, just keep going. Like you're almost there. Like, you know, just seize every opportunity that you can do.
For sure.
Literally just keep going. So I don't really feel like I would tell my younger self anything. I feel like my younger self would be so proud of who I am today and be like, this man is so cool. Like, oh my God, like this is, I'm just thinking about 13-year-old Austun. If 13-year-old Austun met 26-year-old Austun, like this man would think I'm the coolest in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
And would you say that's because 13-year-old Austun had a dream and now sees the accomplished dream?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So it's looking at the mirror.
For sure.
But at the same time, 13-year-old Austun didn't really see 25?
Yeah, 26.
26.
Did I say 25?
Nah.
I keep saying 25. I just turned 26. So it's weird. 26 is a weird year, to be honest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's this year 26 taught you?
That I'm close to 30. No.
Yo.
Honestly, I'm still learning. I think that 25 was such entering into 25 was a scary year because, you know, you hear stories of like, oh, your frontal lobe is developing and like all that stuff. And honestly, I feel like 25 was a very pivotal year for me. It was the worst and best year in my life. I lost friends. I gained friends. I lost family members. You know, I lost jobs. I gained jobs, all that stuff. So I feel like 25 was a very reflective year. Struggle year, a great year, but I feel like 26 now, because of what I learned as a 25-year-old, I'm applying that to who I am. And now not approaching, but I'm closer to 30 than I am 20, but approaching 30, I'm just really making sure that I'm setting myself up to be the best man that I can be for my future family. Cause I'm ready to have kids and get married now. That's not now, but by like 29.
The man working up to it.
Yeah, we almost there.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm great for that. Yeah. You
experienced a lot throughout 25.
Yeah.
I want to touch on a little bit for the writers, aspiring writers and aspiring producers. Can you tell me a little bit more and tell the individuals who are watching a little bit more about the Bel-Air and what you did with Jennifer Hudson? Like, how's that been for you as a writer and a producer?
It's been cool. So, my first show actually was Fight Night. Kevin Hart and Will Packer. I got that. I'm not going to say by luck because it was definitely God. But honestly, my resume came across Will Packer's desk and they called me up and was like, you want a job? I was like, yeah. And I used that inertia to kind of, you know, propel me into that space. So backstory, Fight Night was on the platform Peacock. Okay. Peacock is owned by NBC Universal. So because Peacock is owned by NBC Universal, there are so many shows that shoot on the NBC Universal lot. One of those shows was Bel-Air. Bel-Air was a show that I've always wanted to work on that show. I was a huge fan. I am a huge fan of the show. And I think it came out in 2021. When it came out in 2021, I was like, yeah, like I gotta work on this. And so I ended up finding the creator, Morgan Cooper. I found his Instagram. I emailed him. I was like, yo, my name is Austun. I think at the time I was a junior. I was like, I'm a junior in college. When I graduate, I'm moving out to LA. Like, I would love to work on season 2 or 3 of Bel-Air. His assistant replied and was like, we'll pass the message along. What? Didn't pass the message along. And so fast forward 2 years later, I ended up getting a show. I ended up getting the job with Fight Night. Cool. This is what happened. So I was creating videos on social media about my move out to LA because I didn't go to school for writing and producing. I went to school for finance and marketing. And so I was just sharing my life in a sense of pivoting and moving out to LA with I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. I moved out to LA cold turkey. I didn't have any of that. And so I literally just was creating social media videos about my life and what I was doing out there trying to find a job. Yeah. So fast forward, I ended up getting the job with Fight Night. Cool. I got it in February. I moved out to LA January 2022. I got the job with January 2023. I got the job with Fight Night February 2023, 30 days after I moved out to LA. So I was there up until I was up in there until January of 2024, but in November of 2023, an executive of NBC, they emailed me. They're like, hey, this is what the email said. They said, hey, Austun, can you come to my office? And I was like, I thought I was in trouble because I'm like, dang, like, I knew what not to post on social media, but I was like, maybe like I posted something on accident, like whatever. Mm-hmm. So I went to the exec's office. Shout out to Kenneth Nowling. He's one of my mentors now. And he was like, yo, you know, Austun, like, you're not in trouble. I was like, whew. And he was like, I just want to let you know that I've seen your stories. I love it. You remind me of yourself when I was your age. And so I want to be a resource to you. So whatever you want, let me know. He's like, I don't do this often. Wow. I was like, well, Fight Night is getting ready to end in January. I know that Bel-Air is gearing up to shoot another season. Can you get me on Bel-Air? Wow. And he was like, no promises, but I can at least send your resume in, you know, to the people that make the decisions, send the resume in, ended up getting Bel-Air. Wow. And so what's interesting about that story is the knowledge that I gained from working on Fight Night, I was able to apply for Bel-Air. So I say that because if Bel-Air hired me like straight out of college or whatever, I would not have been as successful as I was on that show because I didn't know anything whatsoever. So Fight Night was like a really good introduction to the entertainment space, and it allowed me to know like what call sheets are, what callbacks and stand-ins and production reports and all that stuff, to where by the time I got to Bel-Air, I was well versed in everything. And then moving forward to Jennifer Hudson's show, I've always been a fan of Jennifer Hudson, especially, you know, growing up, my mom, aunts, grandma, all that stuff. You know, we listened to her music. Dreamgirls was, you know, a movie that I watched growing up. And so I was always a fan of her. And once I found out that she had a show, I was like, oh, I want to work on this show too. I wrapped up Bel-Air season 3, ended up getting booked on season 3 of Jennifer Hudson's show. And yeah, it was great. It was great. So yeah.
I mean, I love the response. I appreciate you for walking me through that. Absolutely. Because you're really driving home the importance of valuing your first step into the Hollywood space, building that experience so you can be ready for the next one. Yeah. So for me, I want to understand just a little bit more. How did you really master that first experience with Fight Night? Shout out to Kevin Hart and Will Packer.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin Hart and Will Packer because they gave me my for real first shot. So how did I master that? Is what
walk me through a day in the life of Fight Night, or what skills are you most proud that you built during that experience?
Honestly, one of the skills I'm most proud of is the networking side of that. And I mean that in terms of the entertainment world is very, very who you know, very relational. So you can literally get a job just off of texting somebody, hey, like, what's going on? Wow. And so going into it, number one, I had an imposter syndrome because I was the youngest one in the writer's room. I was the least experienced in the writer's room. And so I feel like going into it, like, yes, I was excited, but I was like, people are looking at me like, who is this kid? Nobody was looking at me like that. But I felt like that I portrayed that on myself. And it took me a while to be like, Austun, like, there's no need to have imposter syndrome because you're here. Like, just because you think you're the youngest, or because you are the youngest, or you think you're the least qualified, you're still here. So like, make the most of it. And so a skill that I feel like I really, really honed in on was, number one, being able to talk to like producers and showrunners and things like that in a way that they understand. That's number one. Number two, being able to connect with people and network, because, you know, Fight Night was my first show. And from there, I've met so many people just from that show that have put me on to so many different shows, experiences, opportunities. And it's because, number one, I'm a genuine person. And number two, like I kept mending those relationships and feeding those relationships. And so I think that's one of the skills I'm the most proud of, is really just knowing how to navigate the Hollywood entertainment space. And that show really taught me how to do that.
I love that, man. Yeah. For people watching, how would you recommend that they build their confidence?
Honestly, number one, something that I do a lot of the time is going out solo. And that's not, you don't gotta go to the club and all that stuff, but like going to a movie by yourself, going to dinner by yourself. I feel like there's such a weird kind of stigma of like, oh, like you're out by yourself, like what a loser, blah, blah, blah. But I think that going out by yourself pushes you to do so many different things. And it forces you to talk to somebody else, or, network with somebody else, or, have the courage to again, chat with somebody. You never know where that can lead you. And so I feel like it's very important to, really I feel like people say like networking is such an important thing. Like it is for sure. Like networking can take you forever. I mean, it take you so far, but I think that also people put like a weird kind of like, okay, like we're networking, like let's follow each other on LinkedIn. Like, no, I feel like this sounds a little weird, but networking is like dating in a sense. Like introduce yourself. Like don't come on too strong. Like, hey, my name is Austun. It's nice to meet you. Yada, yada, yada. If the vibes are cool, then transition into, the networking side of things. But I feel like building a solid relationship with somebody is better than like being like, hey, I want a job. Because when you're building a relationship with them, then they can actually recommend you. Be like, oh, like I know this person personally. So yeah, of course I would give them a job versus like, I just see you on a piece of paper on your resume. Like, I don't really know who you are. So I would like, my advice would be to build connections first, like legitimately.
Yeah.
And then work it from there, as opposed to going into it and be like, yo, like, hey, we're networking. Like, I want a job. Nah.
Make sure that there's substance behind that connection.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So would you say that that's something that has helped you set up your media company from the ground up?
Yeah, I would say for sure, because now I can also call on certain favors, or, I have celebrity friends in a sense where, they're actually my friends, as opposed to like, it was just a business relationship. And so that takes me a long ways as well. And so, yeah, I feel like personal relationships are very important, especially in the Hollywood space, Especially in the Hollywood space. I want to give you some time to breathe. I don't want to just keep drilling you with questions. You're good.
But what does it take to build a brand in media today? And how do you build that from the ground up in the Hollywood space?
What does it take to build a brand nowadays?
In the Hollywood space,
honestly, I don't even know. It's so weird now because I feel like 2 years ago, a year ago, like not everybody was doing the content thing in a sense. I feel like content is everywhere. I'm not going to say, I don't want to come off as a hater. So take this with a grain of salt. But I'm saying like, I feel like everybody's trying to be a content creator in a sense, which is not a bad thing. Post what you got to do what you got to do. I like the fact that people are bringing Instagram back and social media back and like just posting whatever they want to post. But again, it all goes back to like relations and like personal connection, things like that. Like building a brand is all about, the follow-ups. Like if people are like, LA does this a lot. You go out to LA, they're like, we got to do coffee. We never do it. But I think it's important to like, if I say, hey, like, let's go out and grab some coffee, or like, let's chop it up, like to actually follow up and do that. And I feel like building your personal brand, and then having it, transcribed on social media is a lot easier when you have those connections, when you have those genuine things, because then people actually follow you. People actually like engage in the content that you're posting and things like that. And I think that authenticity is something that's huge in building a brand, because at the end of the day, like your integrity is all you have. Yeah. And so, it's hard to pretend to be somebody. It's easy to pretend somebody you're not on social media. But once that veil is off, like when you're in person with somebody, like, are you going to pretend to be that person that you are on social media? Like, no, like, so I think that's important. The authentic side of yourself, presenting yourself in person as well as social media. Yeah, man. Yeah. Authenticity. Yeah. Because you're living authenticity. Absolutely. You chose to pursue a path. Absolutely. Outside of the finance reliable route. To do what you want to do. For sure. Shout out authenticity, man. Yeah, absolutely. Man, we were talking about how your family played a role in you wanting to possibly do the finance route. Yeah. You were thinking that would be the sustainable, reliable route. Right. But you chose to take a risk to pursue your authentic path. For sure. Marketing, going into writing, producing, right? Yeah. But with you being at Oakwood for such a long time, seeing the ins and outs and really understanding that this was meant for you. Yeah. Where was there a time that you realized that Oakwood was the spot to inspire you? Yeah, for sure. I think, stepping on campus for sure. Like my as a freshman, I came in with big dreams, big aspirations. I was like, yeah, by the end of college, I want to be Mr. Oakwood or USM president.
Wow.
I want to make my impact. So I came in with a plan for sure. And I feel like the first moment that I realized like I had impact on this campus was my sophomore year of college. I was elected as USM social vice president. And my first event to kick off the fall semester was I did Oakchella. And it was a spin on Coachella. And I had like live performances. I had a Ferris wheel. We had cotton candy. We had popcorn. Like it was like till this day, like people still talk about that event, or maybe not anymore. Like, or I guess people that like that I graduated with and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody now knows about that.
Oakchella though. Shout out Oakchella.
Yeah, shout out Oakchella. But it was fire. I had t-shirts. It was a really dope event. And so from there, I feel like that really just sprung me into a different like catalyst of stuff. And then my junior year of college, or at the tail end of my sophomore year of college, COVID hit. And then that's when I really like started my social media stuff. And so when I came back on campus my junior year, even though we were still on, the kind of the COVID protocols and stuff like that, I was still like on social media and making videos and things like that. And, I was making YouTube stuff. I was making content with, people on campus, everything like that. I started this thing called COVID Patrol.
COVID Patrol.
And so it was because, again, my junior year, we came back to school with regulations. You can either do hybrid classes or you could do fully remote. I want to be on campus. And so basically the hybrid schedule was you could stay in your dorms with your roommates. You could only go to class if your teacher required it for like tests or whatever. But majority of your classes were online on Zoom. Tests were all that stuff. And so I started this thing called COVID Patrol, where I would go around campus. I bought a whistle. I got t-shirts made that said COVID Patrol. And anybody that didn't have like a mask on or like was in social distancing or something like that, I'll blow a whistle. I would write them up a ticket. I would make videos about that and post on social. It was honestly like, it wasn't real. Like it was comical, but people really loved the COVID Patrol videos.
Cause you were a social vice president. So you're living just being social, dude.
So it was.
That's dope, man. Like Jeremiah, he's the man running the
shout out to Jeremiah.
Yeah, shout out to Jeremiah. He's running everything behind. Wouldn't that be crazy to have on Oakwood right now?
That'd be wild.
Like Patrol. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm just imagining what would Oakwood be like if I was on campus during that time. That sounds like such a vibe.
It was. Listen, we had a grading curve. I passed all my classes. Somebody took my final exam for me for one of my classes. So it was great. It was a good time. And campus was like, I feel like it was like 40% of us left like on campus. So it was like it was dead, but it was fun because we would have I lived in the West Oaks at the time, so we have a little like parties over there, and all that. So it was fun. It was a really good time. Like COVID era was really good.
Pretty much for me and the people watching, man, I just want to understand a little bit more from your Oakwood experience. Your family did a great job with bringing you up into space at Oakwood. You did amazing things here, started a lot of initiatives, and I want to know a little bit more. When was that moment where you saw Oakwood inspire Austun Reid and that same vibe in Hollywood? Like, how did you see what Oakwood cultivated you to be also be used in the Hollywood space?
Yeah. I can think of two moments off the top of my head. I don't know if anybody remembers this, and I literally hate this video so much, but my freshman year of college, I was in a choir. Shout out to the Dynamic Praise.
DPA.
And we were singing behind the one and only Vashawn Mitchell. And he said, put me in C. I made a face. People posted it. The face went viral. I hate that video. So that video resurfaces every year. I hate that video so much. And so when I moved out to LA, my first week at my new church, one of these kids were like, oh, like, you look familiar. And immediately I knew what he was talking about. But I was like, oh, like, really? Like, I don't know. I just moved out here. He's like, no, like, I've seen your face before. I was like, well, I make social media videos. Like, maybe you see me on that. Like, I knew what he was talking about, but I'm not going to let him say it.
Yeah.
And then he tapped his homie. He was like, yo, like, haven't you seen him before? He was like, yeah, like, that's a put me in C guy. I was like, oh my God. Come to find out, that was like one of the friend of this. Wait, what am I trying to say? It was a friend of the pastor's daughter. And so he told the daughter told the pastor. They ended up playing the video at like after church. It was like, yo, this is the guy. They played the video on the screen. And so I hated it, but it's just like my parents tell me all the time. They're like, don't hate that video because yeah, like we love it. I don't really hate the video, but I do. But that moment, because like it was like a huge icebreaker, like not like, yeah, it was like embarrassing in a sense, but I feel like it was like a huge like, I don't know, just icebreaker. Like I feel like it's I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. But the second time for real was when I first went out to LA. I was invited to a New Year's party. Before I go anywhere, I always pray. I'm just like, God, if I'm not supposed to be here, like please close the door. Like let me know that I'm supposed to be here. Mm-hmm. This was my first event out in LA. I go. I handed my ID. At the time I had an Alabama license because I just graduated from college. The person at the front is checking me in and he's just like, oh, you're from Alabama. Are you visiting? I'm like, no, I just moved here. He was like, oh, well, welcome to hell. And I'm Lucifer. Whoa. And he handed me an NDA and then he was like, sign this before you go inside. I was like, I'm good. And I dipped. And so that was a moment I was just like, man, like...
Like they told you that straight up,
like straight. And then I didn't like, he may have been joking or not. I wasn't trying to stay around to figure out if it was a joke or not. Yeah. But yeah, that was a very like, okay, like my Oakwood is showing a little bit. Cause I'm like, all right. I'm about to head out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, you hear about Los Angeles. Yeah, they say like city of Los Angeles and all that.
Yeah.
Even if it was a joke.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just like, I don't joke like that. So
yeah. You took that as a sign, like I'm
out of here. I ain't got time to stick around if it's a joke or not, or see what's going on. So yeah,
that's crazy, dude. Were you in DP at all?
I was.
How was that experience?
I was in DP. So my freshman year, I was in DP. Then I left because my freshman year I was in DP. My sophomore year I left because I was social vice president, and I would have to plan a lot of my events on Friday and host them on Saturday. So I couldn't make it to. I could, in theory, make it to rehearsal, but it was going to be a lot on top of my classes. So I decided to kind of push back. Then junior year, I was doing my COVID patrol stuff and I was also preparing to be Mr. Oakwood. And so like that took a lot of my time up. And then my senior year, I was like, it's already too far, too gone. So I legit was in DP for like a year solid, but I also sang on praise team a lot too. And in my senior year, I sang in a couple performances, but DP will always be in my heart because my mom's in DP as well. So yeah, shout out music. Shout out music.
Is there any way that you see music coming up a lot within the Hollywood space? Like you were talking about Oakchella.
Yeah.
You've been to Coachella.
Yeah.
What's the music life in LA, man?
The music life in LA is great. I'm a huge music lover myself. If it wasn't for, and I'm not going to say if it wasn't for, because I think music is still like going to be something that I continue to pursue. I was going to say like if it wasn't for me working in writing and production, like I would pursue music, but I'm still actually probably going to pursue music for sure. Like I'm wanting to drop an EP for myself personally under an alias, so nobody knows it's me. But I also like love like being in the recording studios and stuff like that. I'm working on Bel-Air. Shout out to Jabari Banks, who plays Will Smith. He is a huge music connoisseur and he invited me to the studio a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
His debut album, I actually, helped him with a couple of things on that. Coco Jones invited me to her studio session one time. And so it's nice to be in those rooms. And I also love to DJ. I picked up some DJ equipment last year. And so now I, DJ events here and there. But the music scene is good out there. I think it depends on like what you're into, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Like I feel like there's a lot of music out there, but it's just a matter of like what you're into. I'm a huge R&B lover, and so what I do is I follow a lot of DJs on Instagram that cater to the R&B space, and I just follow them to different events. And but it's it's cool.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like during those times when you're in those rooms with Coco Jones or your mans that work at Jabari? Let me just say Jabari.
Jabari.
Jabari. I didn't want to butcher the name.
Yeah.
I was just gonna be safe and say Will Smith, but his name is Jabari. So I want to know a little bit. If you're in those rooms, are you there to just be yourself, or are they inviting you to like give a second perspective, different opinion? Like,
for sure with Jabari was definitely more like, yo, like, what's your opinion on this? We're really good friends now. And I remember, what was it, last year? He invited myself and like a couple of his other like really close people out to San Diego. He booked a house for like 3-4 days, and we just recorded music and just shot some videos. And it was a really cool time. You know, we were up, you know, till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, just like writing and like, you know, just listening to him record and like all that stuff. And it was really cool. Like I love those moments of creativity where like nobody knew where their phones were. Like we all were just like locked in, like really doing that. And so in that space, like Jabari was like, yeah, like, you know, what's your opinion on this? Or like, you know, should I do the hook like this? Should I do it like that? Like, let me hear what your take would be on it. Whereas like other moments, not necessarily with Jabari, but with other people, you know, I've been in there just to observe, just to be there. Which I don't take for granted at all either. Cause, you know, being in the room is great also.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. It kind of goes back to a conversation that we're having off camera where he was sharing a little bit with the Hollywood space. He's realized that just being himself in the space that he's in, being present is really what matters. I'm drawing a little bit of a blank specifically, but we'll follow up on that.
We'll follow up on that.
I don't know how I don't even know how I just blanked. Oh
it's
my
okay.
goodness.
It's okay. It's all good. We chatting.
For sure.
Talking. We chopping it up.
For sure. Like, would you say that there were any professors, mentors, or anybody here at Oakwood that directly enhanced your experience?
That didn't directly enhance my experience. I mean, honestly, like, I feel like all of my professors did, both good and bad. I feel like all my professors for sure enhanced my experience. Shout out to Julian Waddell. I don't know if he's still here, but he was professor of the entrepreneurship classes.
Hey.
So he was very influential in my coming up in this space. You know, because I was involved in a lot of USM stuff. I got to shout out Raymond King. You know, he was very influential in my coming up as well. Who else? I feel like everybody was like, I took every experience that I had with teachers, professors, mentors, or whatever, and used it to my benefit. So
perfect.
Yeah.
My mind finally connected the dots.
There you go.
Boom. Right. You were talking about off camera how in the Hollywood space, once you're in the room, nothing else matters.
Right.
It's more about connecting with people and dropping the title. When has there been a moment for you where you've realized like, this is the path that God chose for me?
I don't feel like it was one specific moment. I feel like it's just been moments. And I mean that in terms of before I really pursued this career, you know, I was just like, God, if this is not for me, like close the doors. If they're for me, open opportunities. And there's been so many opportunities that have been opened that just came out of nowhere.
Wow.
So many opportunities that I've been underqualified for that I still were able to, you know, be a part of. And so I feel like honestly, daily, I'm practicing like, okay, God, like at any moment, like tell me if this is not for me. And every moment he showed me that it is. So I don't feel like there's been one specific moment. It's a continuation of moments.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So this is our time with Austun Reid. We appreciate your time, viewers, your time. Thank you for everything that you shared from Oakwood experience, being finance, switching to marketing, being in Hollywood, the pivot, Reid's Media, everything that you've done, sharing about Kevin Hart and how that was a good first experience to set you up for everything that you do now, man. Like everybody who's watching definitely values everything that you share. So just want to say we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Y'all, if you want more of this content, definitely like and subscribe so you can catch more of this dope Oakwood content here.
And shout out to Daryl. He was a great interviewer. So shout out to him. Clap out.
Thank you.
I can hear y'all clapping.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Thank you for your time. Awesome, man.
Thank you for watching this episode of the OU Business Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. The OU Business Podcast is produced in part by the Business and Information Systems Department of Oakwood University. For more information about the School of Business and Oakwood University, visit www.oakwood.edu.